Ugh. Starting a bit earlier than I usually do. Hi everyone, my name is Albino. You can also call me Amateru. I'm sick, so pardon crunchy voice, pardon the coughing fits and the sniffling that you're gonna get. I'm gonna draw my own OCs. Whoa, crazy. Never thought you'd see that on my account, did you? As you can see, I already kind of started. But these are Dusk, this one, and Semiaza, this one. They're my characters for one of my personal stories, Forever and Always. And essentially, Semiaza is the Demon King, Dusk is a devil. And in this, the devils are just fallen angels that actually survived. And, yeah. I'm just doodling them. I might move on to drawing them in different ways. I might try to do a full scene, or illustration. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just here to have fun. I'm trying different music today. I don't know how well this is gonna go. Because I kind of just hit like a random royalty-free instrumental music playlist, and I have to hope that it stays that way, because it was listed as a mix and not an actual playlist. As far as I see, these all list like royalty-free, so we're gonna hope that's the case, and if it's not, I don't know, maybe I'll cry about it. Also, because I still don't have any requests, I'm going to skip over the request portion of the video, and we're just going to be drawing my characters. I'll talk about them a bit here and there. And yeah. Thank you to anyone who decides to watch. Cue the super epic instrumental music. This is not it. Also, if I end up with any coughs that seem especially bad, I'll just mute for a bit. And also, apologies if you can hear any background noise. Our radiator's like full blast. My dog's chewing on a bone, I think. Is that a good bone? Okay, yeah, it is a bone. Anyway, let's talk a bit about Forever and Always. So I already went over the fact that, like, Semiaza and Dusk are a demon and an angel. I have to rewrite a lot of the story because, like, frankly, it was made pretty poorly over the years, and I messed up with so many of the names. So, we'll get around to that. But I don't intend to make this anything huge. I kind of just wanted it for me. I'll probably make like an art book about it at some point. But essentially it's about these two dudes here. Which I know Dusk does not look like a man, but he is definitely a man, I can promise you that. It's about these two dudes meeting at some point and then falling in love. And trying to not explode the universe. Because near to nobody's actually happy about them being in love. Hell is up in arms. Heaven's up in arms. The mortal realm is none the wiser, but is kind of caught in the crossfire. You know how it goes. He looks so funky in this one. I shouldn't be perfectionistic about this, but I'm trying to concept these so I can more cleanly sketch them. I forgot I was talking about them, whoops. So, Semiaza, he's the Demon King, he's son of the self-proclaimed god of hell. His name's Balaam, and Balaam was technically the first demon to ever exist. Dusk is not, like, obviously you would notice Dusk is not a name referenced in, like, the Bible or anything, right? There's a reason for that. because his real name isn't actually Dusk. He is a fragment of an angel that had fallen a long time ago. I don't know if I'll explain it in this video because it's kind of an important story piece that would be spoiled if I explained which angel he was. But let's just say he was the 5th angel to be executed by God rather than the executioner angel himself. And God has terrible aim, so it ripped his wings from his back, cast him into hell, and didn't aim for purgatory, aimed for hell. Man sucks. That's how it is. And so Dusk ended up landing in hell as Zell and not Dusk. Dusk becomes important later. He lands as Zell and the 4 devils that were there before him, which is in order, though I'll probably change their names. Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, Satan, and Lucifer. They all come along, they pick him up, they take him to the devil castle, nurse him back to health, and boom, new devil. Woohoo! Now I want to know, all angels that have their wings ripped from their back by God and then are cast into hell lose something about themselves. I can't tell you which angel, but I can tell you that Dusk and Zell both come from one angel, and the whole idea is that angels' 3 sets of wings split into 3 different entities. So Zell is the first one to appear, and I have not actually touched this story in so long because it was related to something kind of owie for me. So I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Anyway, Zell becomes one of the devils. Skip diddly doo-dah. Something happens to Zell. And he has to be mortalized by... Well, actually, it doesn't really have to be. He's accidentally turned into a mortal when the other devils finally get him under control and are trying to, mess with his soul or something. Because souls are tangible things within the body of anything in this. So they try to remove his soul, but they end up accidentally making him mortal, and in the process he somehow ends up in the mortal realm. And mortal realm being like the realm of humans specifically. And he ends up kind of taking on a mortal and a very young appearance. He comes back as, a child, to put it simply. He comes back as like a 10-year-old child of ambiguous Latin descent. And this child ends up getting picked up by some other street rats, for lack of a better term. And they name him Dusk because they found him at dusk, at twilight hours. Why is the music so loud? Hold on. Click. Okay. So they end up finding him at dusk, and so that's why they name him Dusk. And he lives with these humans for like 10 years, I think. Yeah, because he's like 20 when things change. They kind of become their own little crime syndicate. Man, I'm really getting perfectionistic with his hair. They become their own little crime syndicate. And then one day, out of absolutely nowhere, while Dusk and Rio and the others are on some sort of mission or whatever, Dusk gets swiped. He gets knocked out, dragged into a van, driven off with. And this, of course, freaks out his 3 human companions, which I don't actually remember what I named them. I only know one of them's Ryosuke, because, I don't know, I put down a placeholder name and it stuck. Okay, hold on. We're redoing this hair. I'm struggling. And then he wakes up and he's with the devils, and they're like, Zell, we finally found you. And he's like, what the fuck do you mean? Casual, barely older than a teenager human experience or reaction to go, who are you? What the fuck? No. But they explained to him, like, oh, I guess, like, yeah, you're not Zell anymore, that's for sure. And so they restore his immortality, but it comes back slowly because, like, if his, frankly, fractured soul suddenly got blasted with devilish immortality, it would explode. So they're like, bit by bit, it'll come back to you. Of course, things are different because now mentally he's Dusk and not Zell, so it's a bit difficult for, like, Lucifer in particular. You know, hold on. I'm going to just finish this part and then I'll get back to the story. And I will say, because I just suddenly remembered this, the reason that they have to strip Zell of his immortality is because he ended up in purgatory, which no one's able to escape, but somehow he did. Which I did have a way for how that worked, but I don't remember it anymore. I deleted the DMs where this story was written, so I have to come up with new stuff. Which I wanted to do anyway, so... Oops. Okay, good enough. Boom. I'll fill in all the empty space later. So anyway, yeah, Zell ends up in purgatory. They got 10 years later, they get him back as Dusk. So they have to figure out how to life with that. What is there? Bit better. Okay. So they figure out how to deal with that fact. And in the meantime, Hell isn't really aware that not only is Zell back, but he's partly mortal. Because that would be very dangerous, because he's currently in a stage where he can be killed by demons very easily, if they find out. And already as it is, Hell does not like the devils because they were once angels. So they're kind of like, man, we don't take orders from angels. And not that, like, the devils try to, like, control Hell. They're actually just the guardians between the borders, which are the areas between heaven and the mortal realm, heaven and hell, hell and the mortal realm. Basically, all those spaces in between that make it so anyone can go between each realm, they guard those. Because Armageddon would not be good. Anyway, while Dusk is still regaining his immortality, he does a lot of the devil contracts. Because, you know, people summon demons and the devil by accident, and humans are kind of stupid and don't know how to do it correctly. So, one in particular summons just generally any sort of hell dweller, which both a demon and Dusk end up responding to. Now, in good old-fashioned... Oh god, Katybug! Take your time to swallow, baby girl. Choke on that thing, goodness. Anyway, they both respond to it because it summons a hell dweller, not, you know, just a demon or a devil. And the whole point of, like, the devils going after human souls is different than why demons do it. Demons do it for food, devils do it for power. Basically just to keep everything functioning as it should be. Magic reasons. Ooh. Man, this breathing thing kind of sucks. So they both show up, and immediately it's... Well, not immediately, but, like, semi-immediately, they start to attack each other because, like, the demon's like, I don't know what you are, but you're not human, and you're in my way, and I'm hungry. And Dusk, who isn't very obviously a devil, because normally demons can tell. There's a whole vibe about them, but Dusk is very in between mortality and immortality at the moment, so he presents differently, right? So they fight. Dusk, to this demon's surprise, holds his own fairly well, and is also, they're kicking each other's asses. Like, no punches barred. They're fighting to the death right now. And they're pretty evenly matched, which, one, Dusk is kind of excited about because, you know, he doesn't usually get a nice challenge, and two, Semi's confused about. Oh, I guess I kind of just spoiled it. Whoops. The demon's name is Semiyaza. So those two fight, and eventually Dusk ends up winning, but he decides not to kill Semi, because why bother, and also, whoops, we accidentally killed the human we both came after. So you know what, because I had fun fighting you, you could take the human soul if it's still in its body. Bye. And then he leaves. And, you know, Semyaza isn't entirely happy about this because he's like, man, I just got my ass whooped. And, to both of their dismays, they end up running into each other a lot. Because, again, humans are really stupid and keep mixing up summoning rituals because, you know, we take advantage of... Hi, Hayes. We take advantage of religion and we twist it to our own ideals. So, they keep running into each other. They keep fighting. But over time, it grows into something more friendly. Don't ask me how. It's fighting each other is how you properly court someone. You can't marry someone unless you win in hand-to-hand combat. Anyway, so they end up just kind of becoming friends about this. And that eventually results in them realizing, oh wait, we're both Hell Dwellers. Okay, well, Dusk knows this. Not only does Dusk know this, but he finds out really quickly who Semyaza is. And Semyaza is the Prince of Hell. There's no king at the moment, so he's just the High Prince of Hell. Yeah, TM. And how do they... Hold on. I know there's a part where Semyaza finds out about Dusk, but I completely forget what part that is. Because I rewrote it. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. I need, like, cough medicine or something. I want to die. Oh, no, wait. Which one's my actual medicine box? That doesn't sound right. That one's it. Hold on. Albi's dying. Give him a second. Also, hi. I keep medicine under my desk because I get hurt or sick a lot. So, yippee. Maybe I should have made some, like, hot tea before I started this stream. I feel not good. Do I have any tea left in here? I have enough. Okay. Ugh, fuck. Okay. So, hi, Hayes. Here's the rundown of what I'm doing. I'm drawing my characters, which I never do. I'm trying to explain their story, but I'm dying. Yippee! Good luck following along. If you have questions, let me know. But anyway, I also want to know... Hold on, let me pull up the refs real quick, because I'm going to need it anyway. Where is it? References. Let's pull up this one. So this is what Dusk looks like currently in the story. Because he was turned mortal for a while. He's of Latin descent when he's in his mortal form. Yeah, so that's what he looks like. And keep in mind, he's like 20 by the time he's taken back and given his immortality. And then this is his actual form, which will come later. It'll happen later. So, in this form, this is how Semi knows him. I don't have an updated ref for Semi, and frankly, I don't want to pull it up because bad memories associated with it. But you know. Where are we at? Brain, hold on, sorry. Buffering noises. I just took cough medicine. Why am I coughing again? Breathing, it sucks. Okay. Yeah, so Dusk and Semi meet again, blah 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 blah. I'm actually drawing a different form. I'm drawing the albino form of Dusk, so you're not gonna recognize him based on what he is currently in the story. But anyway, somehow, some way, Semyaza finds out that Dusk is, in fact, not only a devil, but the fifth one. Which, again, demons hate the devils because the devils are angels. They're fallen angels, but they're still angels. And they're like, man, you don't belong in hell. Go to purgatory. Because that's usually where fallen angels go when they're not executed by God. When they're executed by the executioner angel itself. But, executioner angel went missing. So, you know. we don't hear anything about them right now. Anyway, Semi finds out, they go to their meeting place TM in hell that most demons actually will avoid because it feels heavenly there. And not in the good way. It feels like it's an angel's domain in hell, and it's kind of uncomfortable for most demons to be there. It's kind of taboo to go, but Dusk and Semi made it their place. So they go there. Blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Semi lets it all out. He's yelling. He's having his emotional outburst because, to be fair, he was lied by omission about his, whatever they are. Being not only an angel, but a devil. And I think Dusk, who at this point is now immortal again, but is kind of still mortally brained because he did spend 10 years that way, he probably goes off on him. Not really goes off on him, because he's very patient with Semi's outburst. He's like, I did do wrong, so you have every right to yell at me. But I would think Dusk would point out, like, I don't even feel like a devil. I wish I could help you with this emotionally, but man, I didn't really get a say in the matter. I just got picked up off the street, dragged away from all I knew. I'm still only regaining some memories that aren't even mine. This kind of sucks. Don't get mad at me for something I'm out of control for. So, you know, they fairly quickly make up, because at the end of the day, they are falling in love with each other, and they're really good friends. They're like best friends at this point. So, you know, Dusk is forgiven for omitting what he is, and also, like, Semioz is reasonable enough to understand when it's explained to him, like, if anyone found out that I was mortal, I would have been killed. And Semi's like, you know what? Good point. So, they end up, they make up. They're good. But their relationship's kind of kept a secret because, like, one, Semi is the High Prince of Hell, and two, Dusk is a devil, and the devils don't even like the demons because, again, they're angels. They're mentally coded to not like demons. So it's a whole Romeo and Juliet situation, damn near. And I forget who finds out first. It's either... God, the sniffles. It's either the devils who find out about Dusk and Semioz's situation, or it's Semioz's companions. Like his sworn brothers, and not in that way. Jackson and Drakai. Because I know when Jackson and Drakai find out, Jackson ends up confronting and trying to kill Dusk, which he fails miserably at, mind you. Because at this point, remember, Dusk is a full immortal again. He's fully trained in everything. But, you know, he fights off... Oh, man, I got hiccups now. Whew. He fights off Jackson. Drakai's kind of conflicted, because he's just standing there letting it happen, because he's like, man, we shouldn't have come here and done this. Semi's gonna be pissed. Especially if you kill his boyfriend. And Jackson doesn't care because he's Semioz's right-hand man. And, you know, that's his friend. So he's like, I'm not going to let some stinking angel mess with my brother. And in the end, Semioz is actually the one to show up and break up the fight. I don't know how. He probably finds out some way that Jackson and Drakai ended up in the ethereal forest, which is Semi and Dusk's place. And answer... Ugh, fuck, I gotta stretch, sorry. To answer Hayes' question about if this will be a comic, it probably won't be. I'm not a fan of the idea of making this something too big past my own personal story. I have other projects that are going to be like that. For this, I think at most this is going to be an art book that'll just have like character designs, world stuff, etc. I'll maybe make character designs, or zines, however you want to pronounce it. But I don't think it'll be a full-blown webcomic or anything. That's just not my thing. If anything, actually, what I am doing is I am writing it out in novel format. So if I do anything with it, I'll be publishing it as a novel with illustrations in it. But I'm still a little hesitant on that. I don't know if I will. We'll see. Oh, absolutely. If I decide that I'm genuinely going to publish this as a novel, believe me, the garden, the server y'all are gonna be the first people to know, because I will just not shut the fuck up about it. I'll probably even make a channel based on it. So, we'll see though. I think I gotta figure out life first before I try to publish anything. But one day. Does that look good? Yeah, this is fine. I don't like how textured my brush is. I kind of turned up its settings at some point, but it's fine. It'll look better when it's zoomed out, because I am zoomed in a lot, because this is a huge canvas. Anyway, ugh. I might have to go get like an extra drink or something. I'm dying. But, where am I? Right. Eventually, Jackson Drakai, they find out about Dusk. It's not fantastic. Jackson is avidly against it. Partly because, you know, he's an angel and Jackson is a demon. The usual story that I keep repeating. And partly because he's hyper protective of Semyaza. He is his first in command. He's his right hand. They've pretty much grown up together, so he's highly protective of him. But, you know. They end up not entirely accepting Dusk, but they're like, okay, we accept the fact that Semi's in love with him. We can't really do anything about that except for continue to complain about it and hope that he listens, but if he's not going to listen, I'm not going to do anything until his life is actively in danger. And eventually, it takes forever, but eventually, Jackson does grow to trust Dusk's intentions with Semyaza. And that actually mostly stems from the fact that, aside from the fact that they're very obviously in love with each other, Dusk and Semi definitely fight for each other too. And this becomes important because Hell is in a bit of a war period. Actually, at this current point in time, the war has a pause, if it hasn't ended already, because that's part of the thing that I have to rewrite. But there's some political unrest because of a situation regarding Semyaza's upbringing. His father, Balaam, the king of Hell, the original demon and everything like that, has disappeared at some point. And Semyaza ended up with a fallen angel that is not a devil, shockingly, and their story with that, of course, and then that fallen angel's demon partner / vampire partner. I'm probably going to rewrite that part too, because there was a whole war between demons and vampires, like they weren't the same thing. Yeah, no. Anyway, so Semyaza is raised by the angel Zachariah, or Rhea as we call him, or as I call him, and the demon Yakin, which I'm probably going to rename because it's a dumb name. So he's raised by those two as his foster parents. And, I mean, Rhea's a better parent than Yakin is, but, you know, Yakin puts up with him. However, a war kicks off, mostly because of those two, actually, because, again, angels and demons. And Rhea gets killed, and so Yakin shows up, and he's, like, holding, you know, his lover's dying body. And then Semi walks in and thinks Yakin just killed his Rhea. Hi, Katie Bug. The Katie Bug pulled up. Hold on, I gotta pet my dog. Hi, Mama. What doing? Why are we talking so much? Goodness. Anyway. Oh. Are we done talking? Okay. Yeah, so he thinks Yakin killed him, and he ends up killing Yakin.
But he kind of blacks out during this because, trauma, and he absorbs both of their souls, and then that kicks off a major war because it's thought that, like, Katybug, I'm talking, yeah, I need to go take a nap. Okay. And I want to note that Yakin and Zechariah were essentially king regents because Balaam was gone. And I think actually the original story was Balaam got kind of forced to step down from his throne to give it back to, quote unquote, give it back to. It never belonged to, but give the throne to demonkind instead of Balaam because Balaam is considered an entity even though he's the first demon. And this is because of Semi. Ba, 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 ba. So fun fact for you, Semyaza is not just a pure demon, he's actually a Nephilim. Specifically, I think which one is, hold on, let me look this up. Nephilim is human and demon, I think. The Nephilim is Nephilim versus Nephilim. Okay. Nephilim are the offspring of human and angel. Okay, Nephilim is the offspring of angels and demons. So he's a Nephilim. And I'm going to pronounce it like Nephilim, but like, Nephalem. Nephilim. So, Semi's technically a Nephilim, and the demon lords of the 9 rings of hell all were like, yeah, no, this isn't fucking cool. Get rid of this thing. And so instead, Balaam negotiates, I'll give myself up if you let him live. Now, there's a methodical aspect to this. I'm gonna be real with you, Balaam doesn't really love his kid at all. But there's method to there's reasoning to this. I was about to say there's method to his madness, but it's not madness. So he gives himself up and basically just eradicates himself so that Semi can live. So what's the word I'm looking for? When it's assumed that Semi killed the king regents, or I guess Yakin would be the only one that would be king regent because Zechariah was an angel. Whatever. When they thought he killed the king regent, which technically he did, a war kicked off, and so he fought in the war with, like, alongside Jackson and Drakai, and then all the other demon kinds that were on his side. And they did eventually win it, but at this point, he's not doing good mentally, because, his foster dads are kind of dead, and he does feel guilty about killing Yakin, because that was still his foster dad, even if they weren't nearly as close as him and Rhea. So that being said, that's when Dusk and Semi meet, when Semi's just like, man, I gotta do things with my life. Trying to remember the rest of the story, but I'm dying of sick. Where was I going with that? I guess that was kind of just to elaborate what Jackson, Drakai, and Semi have gone through, so why Jackson's so protective of Semi. Now, also I want to add, Jackson is a pure, not vampire. He's a pure demon, and like Semi, actually, kind of. And Drakai is a werewolf, so he's kind of a lesser demon, but he is third in command. Thinking. I guess, yeah, whatever. So, we're gonna skip ahead a bit. Because of the angel that Dusk was before he fell, heaven, and specifically God, is kind of upset. Because the angel that he was one of the few to speak out against what God was doing with the fallen angels such as Beelzebub and Mephistopheles, because they questioned God and it was not happy about that. So that's why they're fallen. And that is partly why the Dusk original angel fell. It was also because that angel, when Lucifer fell, Lucifer cried because his wings were torn from his back. And that angel was like, man, this is fucked. So between already having doubts for God and having to have to listen to Lucifer's cries, the Dusk angel. I was about to spoil a lot there. The Dusk's OG angel was like, okay, you know what? No one ever sees my wings anyway. And what he did was he cut off 2 of his wings and sent them for Lucifer to have. And this is kind of like a fun little side detail about Lucifer because of that. He does suffer from wing rot, so that has to be consistently treated. So anyway, God finds out about that fact, and that's kind of the final straw for God, and that is why Asa is cast out of heaven. Oh, wait, I might have just spoiled. Well, shit. These are easy enough pieces to put together, but you might not know, so, it's fine. So this is why Dusk's original angel was cast out of heaven, is because not only was he doubting God, but he gave up his wings for a fallen angel. And yeah, that resulted in Dusk. That's also kind of why Lucy, he's so close to these fragments of that angel, which so far is Zell and Dusk. I actually think Lucy's the first to learn that Dusk is in a relationship with Semiaza, and he's also the coolest about that fact. Beelzebub is not. For this, oh no, stop. For this, I made Beelzebub a phoenix, but then I realized, like, oh, even though it's inaccurate, oh, Lord of the Flies, blah, 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 that has nothing to do with Beelzebub, by the way. I was like, what if I give him, because I hate moths, obviously, I have a phobia of them, so I was like, I can't do moths to the flame, but what if I did fireflies? So, he's kind of a mix of, like, phoenix and fireflies, those kind of things. He's a fire dude. So he's a very fiery temper. So he's not happy about it. I think Mephistopheles is pretty, like, because Mephistopheles is the dude that doesn't give a fuck in all of the devils. And then, I'm not really sure how Satan reacts. I have to rewrite him because I made him absolutely atrocious. And keep in mind, I made these characters when I was, like, 14, and I just turned 21. So they're kind of old. They're in due from some good old refreshers, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Which outfit am I doing? That one, probably. How did I... Dang. No, I didn't want to do that one. Hold on. Let's do... I don't know. Thinking. I need to make another outfit ref for him, actually. I don't know. I'll do one of these, probably. Right, anyway. So heaven is unhappy about Dusk being in hell, and they are actually trying to bring him back to heaven. And this becomes a huge story point, because then war breaks out between heaven and hell. Hell stops its own war to go after, to fight off heaven, because with the mortal realm being in the crossfire and mortals kind of being important to keep heaven and hell functioning at all, they are like, man, we can't let them kill our food source just to get back at us. Thinking. They start war, they fight in all 3 realms, really. Oh, actually, no, I can't say they fight in all 3 realms, because demons can't really get into heaven. Angels can come to hell, demons can't go to heaven. I say a lot, I'm so sorry. I know it's probably infuriating. Back to it. Hold on. Give me a second. Sick brain. Right, they fight there, and I made the angel Michael a dickhead, so... so fuck that guy. He ends up actually killing Dusk, and that doesn't go very well. Semi ends up killing... Actually, no. Does he kill Michael for that one? I'm not sure. I think he might. I think he might kill Michael because of that. Because Semi shows up right as Dusk dies. Which is fucking fantastic. Ow, poor guy. I say as if I didn't write that into existence. But, Semi shows up right as Dusk is killed in this war. And skip doodly doo dah. Each devil has a castle in hell. So they leave him in his castle, which teeters on the edge of purgatory. Which is kind of a nod to the fact that Zell somehow survived purgatory and came back. But, they put him in his castle, and they leave him there. Because, his body isn't going to just decay or disintegrate. That's not how angel bodies work. So they leave him there, and, Semi takes that really fucking poorly. So do the other devils, but Semyaza, goes off the deep end, right? So, centuries pass. And Semi is definitely not who he once was. He's angrier. He's more detached. He's colder. He's definitely kingly. At this point, he has become king. He has earned his throne. And he's just very different. And again, actually, well, I want to say the relationship between demons and the devils is pretty bad again, but Semyaza actually has probably made movements to not necessarily protect the devils, but to give them some more leeway with hell going. Because technically they're good for hell, for the fact that they protect the spaces between. But he's not particularly close to anyone because of Dusk's death. He definitely closes himself off. Drakai and Jackson kind of have to fight to keep in contact with him. They're with him the entire time, but he straight up shuts down. He does not talk to anyone or anything. And I'm running out of tea. Wait, hold on. What is this music? Skip. Oh wait, Cold by Yorhe. Hell yeah, okay. So yeah, Semyaza's changed. He's not doing good. He's the king now. That's fun. The devils are actually close themselves off even more than usual. And in fact, they don't stay really in their shared castle. They each kind of separate and go into their own castles and just hermit themselves for centuries. And at this point, suddenly, and again, keep in mind that angel bodies, they don't decay or anything. So his corpse has just been sitting in his castle, which Semi has not visited in a long time because it kind of got to a point where it hurt him too much. So one day they all see this just beacon of light, of energy shooting out of his castle. And they all panic because they're like, oh fuck, wait, we left an angel body, something that's used to make angelic weapons, which can kill entities themselves. Not to even mention humans and demons and angels with ease. We left an unattended angel body in a castle where anyone could just grab it. So they all panic and they all go for the castle. Bum, bum, bum. Dramatic pause. So I can die for a moment. Oh my god. Good tunes. This is great music for this moment. And so for the first time in centuries, the devils and Semyaza and Jackson and Drakai, because when are they not with him, they all show up to investigate what's happening. And you can imagine Semyaza's just immediate jump between terror and just raw fury when he sees that Dusk isn't there. He's gone. There's feathers just laying all over the ground, so they think that angels came and took his body. But they also aren't sure because the devils are we didn't feel anything different in the in-betweens, in the spaces between. Whoever's here with his body is still here. So they go on an entire hell-wide search of him. And it's a bit of a struggle the further out from the first ring that they get, because the first ring is pure demons, it's the devils, it's royalty, which is essentially Semyaza, his army, and the devils. So they're not on the best terms with the rest of hell. Most of hell's not on the best term with each other, but they have to go on the search to look through every other ring. They're trying to hunt down whoever stole Dusk's body, because one, that's Semyaza's lover, and two, that was one of the devils, so that's their I don't want to say some familial term like kin or brethren or companion, nothing like that. One of them TM. So they all go on this hunt to find him, and it is unsuccessful. They are not finding a trace of him or who could have taken him. And Semyaza kind of goes a little bit crazy because of this. Just a tiny bit. Which, if you found out that your lover's body was probably desecrated, you'd probably freak out too. So, But eventually he considers something that no one else has. He's like, wait, what about the ethereal forest? Because even angels know this. Demons hate being there because it is so heavenly, because it's so holy feeling. So he's like, but this was our place. What if he's there? So Semyaza on his own goes to the ethereal forest. And I think I have a drawing of this somewhere. Hold on. I hope that my stream doesn't show my files because that would be awful. I think it's this one. Yeah, there it is. He finds he finds Dusk there. And he's different. He's not recognizably Dusk, but Semyaza knows that it's Dusk. And also, here's the scary thing. Keep in mind, the fallen angels had their wings ripped from their backs. So, the fact that Dusk has these says something, right? Let's just zoom in because I love the detail I put into this. Look at them. Look at them. Grabs, eats. I love these characters so much. There's a lot of hurt with these characters, but I love them regardless. So, Semyaza finds Dusk, finally, right? And it's tough for him. Because keep in mind, he went centuries of believing like the love of his life was dead. And here he is, noticeably different. Genuinely like feeling like an angel soul-wise. Because he literally got restored into a holy angel. Which is kind of fucked up. So, Semyaza is going the fuck through it. And yet, at the same time, he's not mad at him. He's not necessarily upset that any of that happened. He's just happy that Dusk is alive. That he has him again. Now, this being said, he's also like, oh man, you're a holy angel. You'll be killed on sight. So what he does is he somehow, some way, sneaks him into his own castle and he hides him in like his room, which his chambers are pretty large. And Dusk has been there countless times. So he keeps Dusk in his room. And he doesn't tell the devils, he doesn't tell any of the demons, he doesn't tell anyone that Dusk is there. But he does sort of lock himself away with Dusk, which is kind of weird, given he was like so adamant on trying to find him. He was just, like tearing apart hell looking for him. And then suddenly he gives up and he's just locked in his room. And it's partly for his own sake, because he's like, man, I'm not doing okay. It's partly for Dusk's sake. I don't want anything to happen to him. But it's kind of also a selfish move of like, oh shit, whoops. I don't want anything to happen to him. I don't want others to know that he's here. I don't want to share this with somebody else. I want this for me. Which is completely valid. I would do the same thing. So he keeps Dusk with him for a while. But then Jackson and Drac, the two people who are closest to him, find out. How does this happen, you ask? Because the one time Semi leaves his room, Jackson's like, I wonder why he's been in there this whole time. And he walks in, there's a fucking angel in there. There's just an angel chilling on his bed. He's sleeping there. And of course, thank you for thinking that they're cute. Jackson's pissed. He's like, what the fuck is this? Semi shows up. Because he probably put a seal on his door to know if someone's there. Because, he's very protective of his lover right now. And I also want to note that because Dusk has, just woken up, he's been dead for centuries. He's been genuinely dead for centuries. So him suddenly not only being back, but having his wings back, and being a lot closer to what he once was, is traumatizing, right? So he's somewhat catatonic. And this is also why Semi kept him safe, because man, he's not in a position to protect himself if something happened. He doesn't want the other devils poking and prodding at him. He wants his lover safe. Valid stance. So back to the thing. Ugh. I'm gonna die. Where was I? Right. Jackson finds out. At first he's kind of pissed. Because he's like, what the fuck? You brought an angel into your room and just had him stuffed in here. You know what angels do to us? Exempting the fallen angels. Because at this point, Jackson trusts the devils a decent amount. But he's like, you know what angels do to us? Because he doesn't recognize it's Dusk. No one really does at first. Semi knows because Semi and Dusk I'm gonna be honest with you, I did bring ABO dynamics into this. So Semi and Dusk are bonded. They're marked, etc. Blah blah blah. So Semi knew because like that's his partner, that's his mate. They're soulbound now. They're stuck together. I think I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. Sorry, the fucking congestion of my sinuses got really bad and I started not being able to talk right. Oh. So anyway, Jackson finds out, and so does Drac, because Drac's with him. And Semyaza swears them both to secrecy, because he's like, I can't give him back to them yet. Make it look like we're still searching for him. I cannot do this right now. And they're like, okay, you crazy bastard. Fine. We'll not tell anybody. If they find out on their own, though, you're fucked. So, you know, they essentially keep it secret that Dusk is there. And he does eventually recover, and he's the one who decides when he's ready to go to the other devils again. And they're astonished, to say the least, because I want you to keep in mind, they all knew the angel he was before, and now he looks very similar to that angel. So they're all a little squinting about it. Because keep in mind, like, Zell didn't know what angel he came from. Dusk obviously didn't know he was an angel in the first place. And this is still Dusk, but now we're in this form. He looks like this now. So they're like, man, because obviously you can't really see the big similarities between these two, except for maybe the eyes. Let me check, hold on. Yeah, kind of. Like, this one's eyes are a bit more silver, and then his eyes are a bit more red. I'm dying. Holy crap. Whew. Anyway, where was I? Right. He does eventually tell them himself, like, oh yeah, I'm back. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened to me. Don't ask questions. I don't know. But they're all pretty cool about him coming back as he is. They're just happy that he's alive. Because obviously they care about him. And then Dusk eventually recovers enough. Yeah, he did change a lot. He went from Latin descent to albino. But, yeah. Everything ends up relatively okay. I don't think there's a lot of story point after this. There's, like, different snippets of story, but nothing, I guess, necessarily, I don't know. I don't know what word to put here. There's nothing pivotal to the story after this point that I've written, because I haven't worked on this story much in a few years. It's a very emotional thing for me, so I have to take it bit by bit. My dog is back to chewing on a bone. You did not hear me. My voice was too low for that. Dork. We're just gonna put him in like a custom shirt design because I don't feel like going too crazy with this right now. Hold on. Why his shoulder looks so tiny? Oh, he had huge. Hold on. Brain. I guess, yeah, I kind of made his body a little tiny. I gotta fix that. Alright. You know what? I'm going to touch back on Balaam for a moment. So I want to note, in Semyaza's court, for lack of a better term, there, of course, was, like, Trakai, there was Jackson, so he's, like, Jackson being his right-hand man, his first commander, and then Trakai. Which one did I just say? Hold on. Jackson's his right-hand man. Jack and Drac is so hard to distinguish between each other. Oh my god. And Drac is his left hand. So his third in command, technically. Brain, I need you to keep functioning for just a minute longer. But he also had an advisor of sorts, and they all consider her an emissary of purgatory. All capital right there too. I forgot what I named her. I know it was like Lady something. Hold on. Lady Kibu, I think. I think Lady Kibu was at least her original name. Lady Kibu. Would it be... Did I have a concept folder? Apparently not. Would it be... Yeah, her name originally was Lady Kaibutsu, but I think that's a really dumb name again, so I'm calling her Lady Kibu for now. So, Lady Kibu's kind of an advisor of sorts in his court. Nobody really knows where she came from, but she appeared relatively after Balaam disappeared. Like, relatively sometime after. Forgot that part. And she wasn't necessarily loving or warm or close to Semi at all, but she was definitely very intent on guiding him properly. So, she's definitely something of a royal advisor / confidant. And again, he was never particularly close to her, but, you know, she's important to the demon court. Now, funnily enough, the only person that she is, in any sense of the word, warm towards is Dusk. She's the first to, like, wholly accept him, no hesitation. She's the first person that she's not, or he's the first person that she's not, I don't want to say an ass, because she's not outright negative or rude to anyone, but she's not exactly nice or warm or kind either. She's just blunt and to the point, but she's not that way with Dusk. Which is fascinating to everyone, because, like, man, how many years has she been around? And just she's never had this attitude. Now, Lady Kibu is important because she's not an emissary of purgatory like she's presented herself. Remember how I said she came around right after Balaam disappeared? Fun fact, she's actually just a piece of Balaam's consciousness that he projected out there to keep an eye on his kid and make sure that his kingdom stayed intact, that hell didn't fall apart in his absence. So, she's literally just an extension of Balaam, Semi's dad. And, thinking. Yeah, so that's where she comes in. I'm not really sure how she ends because I only decided that detail last year. Yeah, so she exists. That's cool. That's great. What else was there? Balaam does eventually come back as himself. And when he does, again, he's not warm to Semi. He doesn't even seem to like Semyaza too much, which is kind of messed up because, you know, that's his actual son. That is literally his biological child. But he's like, eh. He is, however, again, warm to Dusk. I just realized I left out a vital part of Dusk's story. Hold on. Do I have, like, an adequate image saved anywhere of this? Oh, man, I don't think I do. No. Okay, so I don't have, like, a decent image anywhere. Allow me to elaborate on something. So, if you remember way back, I was like, oh, the fragments of the angel that Dusk comes from split into 3 because he had 6 sets of wings. Or 6 pairs. No. He had 6 wings, 3 pairs of wings. Man, my brain is not functioning today. The first set was Zell. Zell turned into Dusk. Dusk suddenly looks closer to the original angel, but he's still himself. The third fragment does, however, manifest when Dusk changes, when he's revived. Which there's no specific reason for him reviving, except for the fact that his soul just regenerated over time. And that's a very important story point to the story as a whole, but so I won't explain why that happened. But his soul regenerated, but there's now a third fragment, and it's present within him. So he's kind of a vessel for both himself and this other fragment. And Zell is somewhere rattling around in there. But this third fragment is called Coma or Comatose. Important name choice here. Now, I have to spoil something. So the angel that he was before, this wasn't his actual name, was the Executioner, who was basically the Grim Reaper for angels. So, Coma is quite literally just he's the third and final fragment of the Executioner, and he manifests most commonly as the scythe that I will usually draw Dusk with. I haven't drawn him with his scythe in a long time. So here's some really old, yucky art of mine. Originally, I just had, Coma being a solid black scythe shape. But it's something I want to make, a legitimate design for. Let me see. Do I have anything else in here? Maybe? I can't find it. Sometimes Coma will manifest as a halo instead. Or a little snake creature. Which, actually, I do have a sticker design I made with Coma as a snake. And, I have this sticker somewhere. I think it's actually in a book. But anyway, ugh, gross. Old art. No, that's not it. That's Cyclops. That's not Coma. Never mind. That was the sticker, but it wasn't what I meant to bring up. There. So this is Balaam and Coma, because I had a route of them being a thing, TM. But yeah, so Coma will often manifest as either the scythe or a snake, or the alternative is, and it's kind of depicted in this, is a being in a black cloak, just that kind of phases in and out of visibility. I don't think I have a better reference of that. Whatever. Let's just close these. Yucky old art. Be gone. So anyway, there's that. What else do we have in the story? Oh, Rhea and Yakin both eventually come back. I do want to say, Yakin is not... He's very cold towards Rhea, because Rhea comes back first, and then Rhea falls in love with one of the devils. And then Yakin comes back, and he's like, hold on, wait, that was my husband. There was so much romantic drama in this story, because it was me and another person coming up with this, and, I have to rewrite a lot of it, so we're gonna see how that goes. Hi, Katybug. Not Katybug. Hi, Mom. I thought that was the bee-boo. What you doing? Oh, you did walk up, though. Oh, man, my tablet decided to black out. Lovely. Can we not do that? My tablet disconnected itself. Come on. There we go. Why is my music done? Hello? Oh. No, oh my god. Stop! This isn't royalty free. Oh no, a lot of this isn't royalty free. I knew it was gonna happen. No. Oh, yes it is. It's Creative Commons. Never mind. Okay, we're good. It's technically fine, but I'm gonna skip it anyway. Okay. We're good. Back to this. Oog. Yes, bad tablet. I need to replace it so badly. Oh, I got hiccups. Oh wait, I don't need to. I don't even need to draw this part. No. Okay, but I do need to fix proportions here, because he had so big. Okay, put it on a different layer. Good enough. Man, well, I guess it's technically fine. I still don't like the proportions, but it's fine. I'm being a perfectionist about it. Yeah, Rhea and Ya can eventually come back. Balaam revives at some point. Honestly, how it was originally written, Balaam was kind of like, I don't want to say he was an antagonist, but he was kind of a bad guy. He just kind of sucked. So I want to rewrite that, because I don't necessarily want him to be like an affectionate father. I think that him being very detached from Semi is very good for his character. But I don't know. I don't like how a lot of him is written. Let's think here. Stinky thonk. Oh, eventually, the current version of Dusk does get kidnapped by angels, so that's fun. And he gets dragged up into heaven. Against his will, obviously. So this has Semi and the devils freaking out. And I want to add, like, a little bit of, the angel lore in this is... Demons have ABO dynamics and can inflict that on humans and angels, or otherwise, as well. But angels do not. As technically, angels don't even have, like, gender or anything. But, to kind of, like, I guess, cushion that, is they instead have soulmates. And soulmates don't have to be lovers. They can be familial, they can be lover, they can be... hate each other. Actually, oftentimes, angels tend to hate their soulmates. Because angels are kind of assholes in this. But Dusk / the Executioner had a soulmate, shockingly. And his soulmate was actually Azrael, who, if you don't know the name, is the god of death. So essentially, Azrael's the Grim Reaper for humans, whereas the Executioner is the Grim Reaper for angels. So Azrael isn't there during this time. Now keep in mind, Azrael, of course, isn't happy about the Executioner having been executed, by God, but never really spoke up against God because he's still very avidly a holy angel. But, you know, so he wasn't in heaven at this time. Azrael spends a lot more time in the mortal realm because he just can't make up with the fact that God tossed his soulmate out of heaven. Because him and his soulmate were close. They're not lover close, but, you know, they're familial close. So, Azrael wasn't there when this happened. And nobody tells him that his, like, the fragment, the vessel of his soulmate is now in heaven. So he's in the human realm this whole time. And this is intentional because, you know, heaven knows that he'll probably have something to say about this. Now, the devils show up and they kind of try to negotiate. Because remember, they're the guardians of the spaces in between each realm, so they can walk into heaven as they want. But they go in there, they try to negotiate, like, getting Dusk back because, like, he's fallen. You know, he tries to appeal to angel kind rather than God itself because God is very stubborn. They're like, you guys wouldn't want a fallen angel in here. Even if he's regenerated and his wings look like they're there, he's still a fallen angel, you know. They're trying to lay it on thick against, like, using their pride and whatnot against them. And, it kind of works. And eventually God's like, you know what, if even one of you, any of you angels out here, support us releasing insert the executioner's name here, then I'll let him go. Now, angels, being God-fearing, are kind of like looking between each other. But you want to know what happens? One does indeed step up, and it's none other than the cherubim, Gabriel. And I know that in actual biblical stuff, Gabriel's not a cherubim, but for the sake of this, he is. Gabriel steps up, and he's like, I'll vouch for him. I don't think he belongs here. And not in the sense of like, I don't want some filthy fallen angel here. He's just like, I don't think you should be keeping him prisoner here. I don't think you should be controlling him, kind of way. You know, he speaks up. God is clearly unhappy, but ever a being of its word, it releases dusk back to the devils and whatnot. And then what happens? Not even like a whole 24 hours later. Keep in mind that a concept of time doesn't really exist in hell and heaven, but not even a whole 24 hours later. Who comes falling into hell? Gabriel. So the devils end up catching him before he can land in purgatory. Because he would have ended up there. For once, God would have had good aim. So he would have ended up falling there, but they end up catching him before he can. And, yeah, it's not great. He did have his wings ripped out of him for daring to defend Dusk and to vouch for him. And, yeah, so he becomes the new and the sixth devil. Yay! So we have that. And I will say, Dusk is, fairly close to Gabriel because he's like, man, you kind of just saved my life. And then you almost died. You know what? I think I owe you. So they do end up becoming fairly good friends. And, well, here comes the Katie bug. And there's that. Let me think, is there anything else of importance? There does come a point in the story where we get to encounter the ring entities, which are the beings that essentially share soul and domain with each ring of hell. And Balaam is actually the ring entity of the first ring of hell. And keep in mind, like, the ring entities aren't supposed to be able to leave their rings. However, they make it work somehow. I might rewrite it entirely, but I'm wishy-washy about it. Balaam's the ring entity of 1. Asmodeus is the ring entity of 7. Astaroth is the ring entity of 9. Mazikeen is the ring entity of 8, I think I made her. And then I don't have any of the other ones. But I will, eventually. Ugh. And so they come into story at some point. Oh, there goes the Katie bug. She leaves. Oh no. Yeah. I haven't touched this story in a very long time because it is related to something, frankly, pretty emotionally traumatizing for me. But I'm determined to have this story intact because I can't bring myself to just ignore it anymore. I think it's also kind of why I don't intend to make this anything bigger than it is, aside from like maybe an art book explaining a lot of the story, because I don't know, it's a little too close to the heart for me to like just give away to anybody again. I have a couple stories like this, actually. I have this one, I have Dark Light, I have Nightshade in the Sea, which Nightshade in the Sea is with my sister, so of course that one stays intact. Hunter Seeker isn't my story, but I have characters involved in it. Blah, 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 blah. And I can't think of what else to add. I think I'm going to move on to a different sketch real quick. My brain's kind of melting with this one. Let's go with this one. Hi, Katie Bug. Also, in like, I want to say 15 minutes or so, maybe. I'm going to take a quick break, so that'll be your time to go get a sip or to get a snack. Stretch your legs, whatever. I might have to let my neighbor's dog outside, so I'll go do that. Yeah. The music is awfully quiet now. Well, you know what? While we're here, I might as well... I don't know if I brought it up in the last stream, but I think I'm going to commit to going to Job Corps. So, personal update. I think I'm going to commit to going to Job Corps. I've already kind of told people I am, which kind of also helps seal the deal for me. But if you don't know what a Job Corps is, it's it's like a vocational school type of situation for low income folk. It's not military, which Corps would kind of imply if you know what that is, but it is militaristic in how it's run, or at least so I've heard, where, you know, like there's scheduled wake up and sleep times, there's uniforms and proper etiquette and all that crap. But they basically supply everything for free. They give you boarding, so, you know, dorms. They will feed you. They give you a weekly allowance. They'll do basic medical care, so basic mental health, basic physical health, basic oral health, and I think vision health, which is great because I have dental is what I meant to say, dental, not oral. But like I have terrible dental and vision health because depression. For one of those anyway. And those would probably be good for me because I cannot afford to go to a hospital for any of my issues. I also think I have an undiagnosed heart issue, so, you know, maybe, just maybe, I might be a little delulu for thinking this, but, like, I might be able to ask them to check on that, run some tests or something. But they'll do all that for free. It's like a 6-month program, and they'll get me my certifications for free because I want to go into tech work, kind of. I would prefer to work with animals. But the way I see it, if I get the tech job, or if I get the tech work, get the experience, I can get a tech job, which will pay really well if I go to work, like, for the government or something. Or I could bounty hack if they'll teach me, because I think Security Plus would at least teach me enough to get an idea of, like, where to start with bounty hacking. But, you know, I could become a security admin or whatever. There's a lot of things I could do with an A+ and a Security Plus certification. And essentially get hands-on training is the biggest thing for me. That's what a vocational school is for. But get hands-on training and my certifications all for free. Because otherwise I'd be stuck paying anywhere between $200 and $800 out of pocket for certifications and, like, the study guides and whatnot. And I'm not good with that. I'm not good with online learning. I have to be physically learning. So I think I'm going to do that. And then when I get back, I can get a tech job because Microsoft just opened a place nearby me. And there's a couple other places here in town, like banks and whatnot, that want someone on, like, an IT specialist team. And, I could do that, and I might, maybe, I haven't talked to my mom about this, I'm gonna be a little bit low about this, but, I might end up working on my friend's farm, too. Because she's getting up there. She's literally just a few months older than my mom, so they're kind of both in their early 50s. She's starting to feel the effects of getting old, you know, arthritis and aching and all that, and she's like, I need someone who's younger than me and stronger than me to help on the farm. And I love the farm. I love working with the animals. She wants to really wholly dedicate to farm work, because, you know, how she makes income right now is just baking goodies and selling them, like, once a week pretty much. Or if someone orders them, she'll come in, like, on Mondays when she does her groceries, and she'll give them to people. But she wants to dedicate to farming. She wants to have her garden, maybe set up, like, a greenhouse or something. She wants to make a new chicken coop and chicken run so that she can use the rabbit hutch thing for rabbits. She wants to get back into breeding rabbits, which is so great because I wanted to get into breeding rabbits. If you've watched any of my previous live streams, which is like 2 of them, I would not shut up about rabbit husbandry, which is something I'm still trying to talk my landlord into and his family. But if she wants to start rabbit husbandry again, because she's who I'm learning it from, I could work with her on that. She has a 12-stall stable for her horses, so she's thinking she'll clean out the stalls, and it is a gorgeous stable. It just needs to be cleaned up and painted, maybe. She just needs it cleaned out, and she's gonna separate it so, like, half of them are horse stalls, half of them are puppy stalls, because she wants to get back into breeding dogs. Because she was a show breeder she's fantastic. I really admire this lady, but she was a show breeder for years. And like a show dog trainer for years, and a horse trainer. She's like all of my dream jobs in one. But she wants to breed horses again. She has 4 currently. She has the 3 mares and then her stallion. So there's Lula and her kiddo Bean, and then there's Waylon the stallion, and he's also Bean's dad. And then there's Fancy. Fancy's my favorite girl. I love her so much, but she's not going to keep Fancy. She might be keeping Lula, Bean, and Waylon. Let me think. And then she's thinking she's going to breed Lula and Bean, I think, more often so she can get more horses out of them. And honestly, if I work there long enough, if I end up living there, I might see if she'll let me just buy my own horse just to have. Because that's a dream. I've always wanted horses so badly. So if I get to work on a farm with horses and with rabbits and chickens, she wants to get goats again. And with dogs, I would love that. That's the dream for me. And I'd love to be a part of helping her make that too. So... Also, I want to keep in mind, like, I live in a ranching town, right? But because I am tiny and I'm petite, I'm a 5'3", barely 120 pounds little guy, right? So this being like an old boy town, I get a lot of like, girls can't do a man's job shit from farmers and ranchers out here. So I don't really get a lot of opportunity to work on somebody's property. But Jamie is my friend. She's just like, she's this lovely lady. She's like, I don't give a shit. If you can do it, you can do it. And if you can't, you can learn. So she lets me work on the farm. And I love doing work on the farm. And like, don't get me wrong, I do like IT work. I like being able to work with computers, but that's not really the dream. I'm kind of only going into it because it's something that I'm capable of doing and not something I really want to be doing. I love the critical thinking. I love the troubleshooting and all that, but man... working with animals, that's the dream. So, whew, I'm eager to come back and get my shit together. I didn't think I'd, not to get dramatic on a stream, but I didn't think I'd really make it to this point, you know? So, now that I'm kind of trying to figure out how to life, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of exciting. It's kind of, like, interesting to be able to plan out, like, ooh, this is how I'll get to live my life. And it's scary too, but I'm gonna make it work. And don't get me wrong, I'll still be drawing actively. Farm work isn't nearly as, like, active as most people will tell you. They're always like, you always have to be on the farm. You always have to be doing things. You really don't. When everything's stable, you can just, like, go outside 2 times a day to feed everyone, and then that's about it. Unless you're actively, like, training things, if you're actively, like, taking care of baby animals... then I kind of get it. But like, man, it's not as active as you'd think it is. So, I think I'd like to stick with doing art, but I just need something that's more sustainable as well. Which is why I'm like, if I get tech, because we are really deep into the digital age and only getting further into that, if I go tech, then I almost always have job security. If I go animals, I love animals. It's my passion. And normally, like, growing up, when you go, like, oh, I want to work with animals, most people are going to be like, oh, you want to be a vet? No. I don't want to be responsible for an animal's life in terms of, like, medical care. I would cry. But, it would take a toll on my mental health for sure. But I would love to actually be able to, like, train animals, to raise animals. I'd love to be able to live off of, like, my labor and not just... pay money to live or to survive based on my labor, you know? Does that make any sense? Yeah. I'd like to be able to have this place out because, like, also Jamie, my friend in question, she has like a decent sized house, right? And so she has like an entire basement apartment attached to the house, but not like through the house necessarily. The door to it is on the outside of the building. It's basically the same layout, top and bottom. So there's 2 bedrooms and an office room and a bathroom. The only thing it's lacking, and like a main living room, the only thing that it's lacking is a kitchen, but that can be installed. That can be built in there. And like, Jamie's not going to be mad if I have to come upstairs to make dinner or something, you know? So I'd be fine. And I'm just, the dream. Because also, man, she wants to really make her little farm. Because it's like 5 acres of property, which isn't a lot, but it's also not like a little either. She wants to make it very cottagecore and Hobbit-esque. And I'm like, I'm so here for this. That's what I want. So, I'd love to be able to learn these things. And to just have like a place where I can go outside and sleep. Also, if for anyone listening, if you don't already know, I have like I'm gonna pause my music. I have a 14-year-old almost service dog named Katybug, which she's sleeping somewhere. Where are you? She's on her bed in the other room. she's getting up there in years. She's still lively. She's still sprightly. She still acts a lot like a puppy. But she's 14. I don't think I'm going to have more than 16, 17 years total with her. So that means I have like 2, 3, maybe if I'm lucky, 4 years with her. I live in an apartment building, a tiny one. I want to be able to live somewhere where my dog can go outside as she pleases and find a nice, warm sunspot to just plop down and take a nap in. I want her to be somewhere, because she grew up around horses too. She loves horses. She loves farms. I want to be able to give her a place where she can happily just rest. Where she can go explore, she can sniff things. Hi. Bye. Okay. I'm talking about my dog and she walks away. The audacity. I want a place where my dog can live out the rest of her life happily. I love that for you. Sheep and chickens and ducks. And a garden. That's awesome. I think if and when I get into rabbit husbandry, I would keep one as a pet. I mean, I'd probably be very affectionate with the buck and the does, or bucks if we have multiple, and the does, because if they're just for breeding and they're not for, like, culling, I would be more affectionate with them, because also I want them to be easier to handle if I need to. But, oh man, I love animals so much. And then, of course, the dogs. We're not going to eat the dogs. The dogs are going to be happy and loved. Speaking of which, my friend has puppies currently. I want to see them so badly. She has her livestock guardian dog, Soleil. Lele. Lele is a... what is it? Akbash and Anatolian Shepherd mix. So, and she did accidentally get tied up with her half-brother, so, you know, kind of inbred puppies, but they're all pretty healthy. I'm so excited because they're already huge and they're in that waddling jelly bean phase of, like, or not even jelly bean, they're in the waddling sausage phase of puppies. And I want to go there and interact with them so badly. I have major puppy fever. You send me like a video of a cute puppy or a snake or something and I'll sit there screaming. Also, Jamie will let me keep my snake. She'll also let me get the other one that I want to get, so like I don't have to worry about this. She'll let me keep rats so that I can breed them and feed my snakes. Because that's kind of our current situation is we have to breed rats because the one place that sold feeder rats stopped doing it. And we don't even have like a functioning vehicle at the moment. We can't afford to go to a town 2 hours away just to get feeders from their snake shop. So we have to breed them ourselves. And also, I learned something. There's I don't know what to call it. There's like a little game or activity a lot of farmers and folks with like rat seeking dogs will do is they'll take like a friendly enough rat, put it in like a PVC pipe with like food and like a pocket where they can breathe through, and they'll hide them in haystacks and they'll have the dogs look for them. And the dogs can't hurt them. They're perfectly safe. So it's just like a game to teach their dogs how to do that for like pest control or just generally have fun with dog sport without actually hurting any rats involved, which I'm all for. So if I could breed them myself, I could give them to those folks to do that. I could keep them for my snake. I don't know, feed them to the feral cats that keep popping up. Jamie just like cut down on the dozen or so feral cats she had, and then 5 kittens showed up out of nowhere. So she just had more cats. So, you know, there's that. Actually, I think the kittens came from Mama, which is one of the cats that just kept getting bred. And Mama's gone now, so we don't actually have to worry about that anymore, but you know. But anyway, yes. Lots of animals, really nice farm. Lots to do. I'm so excited for rabbit husbandry. We have a rabbit show happening here in town in May. And I'm like, oh, I want to go. I want to see all the bunnies. But yeah, I'm excited because I'm like, oh man, opportunities. I never thought I would have had this at age... I never thought I'd have this at age 13. I never thought I'd have this at age 15, 16, 17, 18. I didn't think I'd have it at 19. I didn't even think I had it at 20. I'm 21. I just turned 21 4 days ago. And now I'm like, woo, shit's happening. Things are going a good way. And I'm excited. I'm eager to get to actually live life and do things. Oh man, did I? Okay, no I didn't. We're good. There's so much going on, and I'm so stoked for it all. Also, I learned something kind of interesting from Jamie. Because, like, it was, like, weeks ago, probably. Because I only see her once a week. What was it? Right, I was talking to her about horses. Because, like, I was window shopping horses. Because I could. Right? And I was like, I found a Frisian that was silver dappled. And I'm so in love. And she's like, you know what you could do? You could get a Percheron mare, which is silver dapples, where that comes from, because that Frisian was a Frisian cross with a Percheron. You could get a Percheron mare, a homozygous Percheron mare with that silver dapple pelt, and then you could get a Frisian stud, and then you could just get a foal out of that. And I'm like, you are speaking my language, because God, ugh, I want that so badly. I want horses so badly. You don't even know. Because also, we have a commercial ranch just outside of town. But what I hate about them is it's $70 for a trail ride, but we live in the Great Plains. We live just at the base of the foothills of the Rockies. So it's $70 to ride a horse for an hour without actually getting to ride it. And if your horse trots or you start falling off the saddle because they don't put on the saddles right, you get yelled at for it. And it's like, that's not fun. I want to get on a horse that I can just tell to go, and it goes. So, if I were to work on Jamie's farm, technically Lula and Waylon are both broken, but they haven't been ridden in so long. Bean is not broken, and actually I have a funny story about that. Bean and Fancy are not broken. Last time I was out there on the farm, I tried to get up on Bean. I almost got thrown. Almost. I found it funny. I did not tell Jamie. She would have told me absolutely fucking not. But, and she did make it clear to me at some point. She's like, if you ever mess with those horses and you get hurt, that's not on me. And I'm like, that's perfectly valid, because that is not on her. If I play stupid games, I get to win stupid prizes. But anyway, I tried to hop up on Bean, who at the time I was like, I swear one of you is broken and I'm going to assume it's you. I was wrong. So I tried to hop up on Bean. Well, the thing is, I was sitting there testing for an hour or two. I would get up high enough. I also learned the hard way that you're not allowed to stand on stall gates, so that was fun. But I got up high enough to put my leg on her without sitting on her. Now, I was putting pressure on her. I was trying to hop against her back, but not onto her back. The things you would generally test with a horse. And she was fine with it. Her ears weren't pinned back or anything. She was attentive. She was standing still for me. Everything was fine. And I even got to sit on her back for a split second. Then I had to wiggle to get comfortable. And that's when she's like, oh, wait, I hate this, actually. So, thankfully, I know how to slide off a horse without eating shit. And immediately, as soon as I was off, Bean turned back around and started checking me. So, she knew that what happened was probably scary, but she was worried. So, don't be me. Don't hop on a horse's back if you don't know if they're broken or not. That's how you break something yourself. That's how you get broken. But Bean was really calm throughout me trying to mount up, so I thought, it couldn't hurt. And it was just when I wiggled that she went, oh, wait, hold on, panic. But she didn't seem angry at me. She came back, she gave me nuzzles, she let me pet. I just didn't try that again. Also, sorry to anybody who's watching and is just listening to me talk and not actually draw. I'm not good at talking and drawing at the same time. So I'll forget. I'll go on tangents like this. I'm kind of sad she is eventually going to rehome Fancy. Because, man, I love Fancy. I was one of the first people that she would allow to approach her, because she wasn't ridden for a lot of her life, or she wasn't, around people for a lot of her life, because Jamie was sick when she was born. Which, man, I miss Fancy's mom. Fancy's mom is such a sweetie. But, Jamie was sick when Fancy was born, and Fancy's 7, 8-ish, so she's older than a yearling for sure. She's an adult horse. Where's it going with that, right? Actually, I don't remember where I was going with that. Ooh, you just reminded me, actually, Jamie. Sorry, we're gonna skirt ADHD. Jamie was considering getting a Palomino pony. She doesn't know how big he is, but obviously, like, a pony can be up to, like, what, 14 hands? So, she was offered a Palomino pony for, like, $600 by one of her neighbors. Which is kind of shocking, but she's like, oh, I could get him, and then I could breed him to the ladies. And I'm like, ooh, man. Because what she was thinking was, like, if she breeds him to Fancy, get a really pretty horse out of that. Because Fancy has this, like, fiery sorrel coat, but then she has a white splash face because she's a paint quarter horse mix. Or cross. And just, that would be such a pretty baby if she could get a Palomino paint out of Fancy. Oh. I'd be in love. Also, I got to see someone who trains, several of Jamie's horses, and this girl, her name's Kimber, she got Fancy's foal. Actually, her name is Eclipse, I believe, and she's huge. Because apparently her daddy, like, Eclipse's papa was 16 or so hands, and she's an average range. I would say she's probably on the lower end of 15 hands. But, like, Eclipse is huge. She's this gorgeous, like, kind of, she's a black coat, but, like, a bit closer to, like, I want to call her a pale black coat. I don't know the exact title of it, or, like, the name of the coat color. I can't say super, like, dark bay, because that would still be brown. She's kind of gray. Like, I don't know how to explain it. She's like a dusty black. That's probably the best way to put it. And it's probably because of dirt, because horses. But, she's very pretty, and she's huge, and she's very well ridden, and I love seeing Fancy's baby. Because also, fun fact, so, some years ago, I think Bean's like 3 or 4 now. So, like, 3 or 4 years ago, Waylon got out of his enclosure and got in with the ladies. So, one, that's how we have Bean. Bean is Waylon's daughter. And then Fancy also had a baby, which is Eclipse. So, we had, we had Fancy's girl and Bean. And Bean's name is Tia Beanie, by the way. Her whole legal name is Tia Beanie's name from Enchanted. Hold on. Enchanted Tia Beanie's full name. Tia Beanie Maria Beanie de la Rochambeau Grunkwitz. That's Bean's full name. And I find that so adorable. Lula, I don't actually remember what her name is. And Fancy's name is Cowboy's Final Fancy. Because she was her father's final foal. And she's from, if you know, like, if you're a horse person and you know of the Old Gold line, I forget his full name, but his name is Old Gold. He's like a international world champion type thing. I don't know horses enough to know the full thing. I'm kind of just quoting what Jamie says, but he's a world champion stallion, or was. I don't know if he's still alive. And then his son is something New Gold, and his nickname, or his not legal name was Cowboy. Fancy's Cowboy's daughter. And Lacey, God, I love Lacey. Lacey's her mom. Lacey is this gorgeous mare. Jamie doesn't have her anymore. One of her neighbors has her because the other horses were picking on her. Because Jamie sold her to one family. They horribly abused her. Jamie took Lacey back and basically just let her eat as much of the hay as she could, because she was skin and bones when she got her back, right? So just let her refill up on hay. But the other horses, Lula in particular, because Lula's the matriarch of the herd, were bullying her. So she's like, okay, I can't do this. So she gave her to one of her neighbors with her own horse, Sugar, because Sugar needed a pasture mate. So Sugar and Lacey are best friends, and they're both doing great out there. But man, Lacey was gorgeous, because you could see Fancy's red in her, for sure. But she was Sabino, just about. Because I think she was a paint as well, but her coat was like red Sabino, chestnut Sabino. It was either chestnut or sorrel Sabino, but God, she was fucking gorgeous. Gorgeous horse. But now she's all retired out at one of the neighbors' places, where the neighbor's granddaughter will sometimes ride her around. So that's always fun. Lacey's living a great life now. But and when I was window shopping, I found like Yeah, me too. When I was window shopping, I found like the most gorgeous gelding. I fell in love with him because I love his coat. I'll show you on Discord later because I have the image saved to my phone. But God, ugh, I was stuck. I was like, man, I wish I could have a horse. I love him in particular. Skip. Oh man, I kind of hate. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, good enough. No, it's not. E. I think they have him like mislabeled on the website he was on. I think they labeled him as like a blue roan or something like that. Jamie was quick to correct me that he was more likely like a bay Grullo, not Grullo, a bay, fuck, what is it? Bay something or other. Because what he was is like, he was this very like nice, almost muted sort of like brown color. Like a silvery dark bay, and then he had these like gorgeous dapples on his coat. And I'm sure it was dirt, but like parts of his coat looked bluer, parts of them looked more yellow. God, he was gorgeous. And he's a quarter horse. He's like 8 years old, I think. But I'm sitting here like, man, I love this horse in particular. And also note to Albi, I'm not allowed to window shop horses anymore because man, I was distraught. Oh, it's messaging me and why. Oh, I forgot to take my break. Whoops. I'm gonna do that real quick. I'll be back in like 10 minutes or so. Get your nom-noms, get your snackies. Stretch. Do what you gotta do. I have returned. I have milk. I have cookie. All is well. I have dog, which is choosing to lay on an old rug on my floor instead of her bed. Can you get some? Can my tablet not die? Jesus. I'm just gonna turn these all into sketches. I don't feel like putting that much effort into these anymore. No! Sending you a cookie through the screen. It's so miserable. These are so fucking good. I gotta talk Jamie into making more of these cookies. I have like probably a dozen in here. Maybe more than that. That is an excellent question. I know that they're chocolate chip, but there's sprinkles like baked into them too. But how Jamie makes them, sorry, I spaced continuing. How Jamie makes them is like, they're a bit more buttery than usual. You can definitely, well, at least I can feel that because I'm sensitive about textures. But they're a bit more buttery. They're like very soft, but they have like an outer crunch, if that makes sense. Like when, I don't know how to explain that. Like, they're baked enough so that the outer shell of it, I guess, is kind of like it takes a little bit of bite, but then the rest of it's like nice and chewy. Mother? Okay. I felt somebody walk behind me and nobody was there. That's fun. Yeah. Jamie, I don't know if I ever actually explained this. Every Friday, I'll go to a shop around the corner because they have Jamie set up a table there and she sells like baked goodies, right? So, she'll have anything from like her own homemade caramel to like her grandmother's recipe for lemon bars, which is my favorite thing she has. She has, right now because it's like winter, she has like hot cocoa bombs, she has cookies, she has brownies, and these really tasty cranberry bars. She makes a lot of really yummy stuff. One of my favorite things that she does, though, is she makes, like, keto and sugar-free and gluten-free type sweets, but she's figured out how to match the textures and the flavors of things that would normally have these things. Because for me, I fucking hate gluten-free everything. I hate the texture of it. I hate the crumbly. It's disgusting. I will refuse to eat. If that's my only option, I will refuse to eat. I have really bad sensory issues with, like, gluten-free stuff. I wouldn't be opposed to sugar-free stuff, but usually I don't like the flavor of, like, artificial sweeteners that replace sugar replacements. I don't like those things. She's figured out ways to match both the flavor and the texture, as if, like, say if she's going with a sugar-free or a sugar replacer, she still makes it taste the same as it's supposed to. If she's going with something that's like keto or gluten-free, she makes it so the texture isn't crumbly and awful. She keeps it being gooey and delicious. I like her baked goods. So that's my favorite thing about her stuff, because, like, she makes it moderately healthier. Of course, it's still, like, chocolate and sweets and shit, but she makes it moderately healthier and something anyone can enjoy, but without setting off my sensory alarms. So it's great. And she's been doing this for, like, a while now, but she's at the point where it does not make a lot of money, and she needs to be able to keep her animals fed and her lights on, so that's why she wants to get back into farming, aside from the fact that she loves it. Because, like, even in just rabbits, there's a lot of money to be had. You get a litter with, like, on average 5 to 8 kits, at least for, like, the specific rabbit I was looking at, and this is a ranching town, so people want meat bunnies here. They don't want specialty breeds or anything, they want meat. So we look at meat bunnies, we look at meat cross bunnies, or, like, versatile bunnies. You get 5 to 8 kits per litter, and you can have kits rotating and to be culled, like, every 4 months. I think, like, the 4th to 5th, and then probably up to, like, 8th month is when you would generally cull rabbits. And then you get, like, really good meat out of that. You get, like, 75 pounds of meat if you go bare minimum of, like, 5 kits, 5 pounds each, per each breeding period, because if you'd have to wait, like, 4 months between. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking meat. That's a lot of meat. And that's just from, like, one doe's set of litters per year. We'd have a lot of does, because she has plenty of room for them. And aside from the fact that that's meat, and you can sell it, or you can just trade it with other people, you can barter, because that's something I do like about living in a ranching town, is you can barter with your neighbors. Like, you got eggs, I'll give you rabbit. I'll give you a whole carcass if you can get me, like, 1 to 2 dozen eggs. Boom. Done. Deal. Because that's a whole rabbit carcass, that's a lot of meat there. So, and also chickens will just lay and lay and lay and lay, if you get the right kind. Yeah, that is a lot of meat. So, that's just rabbits too, like, she wants to have goats and whatnot too, right? There's a lot of money to be had. Also with rabbits, if you get into, like, breeding standard of perfection show rabbits, which standard of perfection in rabbits is a lot better than, like, dogs, because it's healthier. They want to see healthy rabbits. In, like, dog shows, they don't give a shit about that. So, wipe my nose real quick. You can sell, like, say, if you have a well-bred kit, you can sell that kit to someone for $50 or more if you want to. Some people have been able to sell their kits for up to, like, $700 plus, and I know that because Jamie bought a couple of kits for $700, and they were, like, the worst rabbits she ever got, but, like, you know. Okay, by worse, I mean, like, the buck, he died, like, immediately, but the female, she would win so many shows, but she refused to be bred, so it's like, that kind of sucked, but, man, there's a lot of money to be had in just selling the kits to other, like, rabbit folks who like husbandry or want to go to shows or any of that shit. I would love that. That would be so much fun. Also, they're really easy to feed. You just get them hay. Whatever horses don't eat, because, like, horses will leave behind, I don't remember the name of it, but horses will leave behind, like, the really tiny, flaky bits of hay. You can scoop that up and feed that to a rabbit. I mean, horses are supposed to eat that part too, of course, but, you know, some are picky about that, so you can just scoop that up and give that to the rabbit. Or you can get them rabbit-specific food, but generally hay is what you want to feed them. Boom. They're really, like, according to Jamie, and I trust her word with this, given she's about to be 53 in a month, and she's been a farmer for how long? Decades. I trust her judgment on this, but she's like, rabbits and goats are, like, the best and easiest livestock to have. And hell yeah, I'm all for that. And what she wants to do is, of course, like, she wants to get meat goats and milk goats. She wants crosses for those, because versatility. And also her goat just like her last goat just passed recently, so she's like, yeah, I want to get back to having goats again. We do have Larry Lamb there still, but he's not, she doesn't really have him for anything, and I don't know if she's going to get back into having sheep at all. Larry Lamb is just kind of chilling until he goes. And then, of course, like, puppies, which is more so just breeding puppies for people to have dogs. And shows if they want to. And then horses. Jamie's more into horses for the sake of, like, if you get a well-bred horse and you can train it just to, like, be able to ride a saddle or whatever, be able to have a halter, you can sell that for quite a bit. Like, a trained horse goes for so much more than an untrained horse, especially if they're well-bred. So, man, God, I want this so badly. I was not built for city living. I was built for being a creature in a forest. And I may not get to have a forest, but I'll get to have horse. Ooh. Good luck with dinner. I hope it's tasty. Also, because I don't have any requests, I think I might have said this at the beginning of the video. I don't have any requests, so I'm going to skip over that portion of the video. I did say this. I remember saying this. So it's just going to be doodling, and more talking, probably. Yippee. Let's see, what else do I have to update on? I did get my VGen options up. They're not all of my commission options, but I have to get verified if I want to have all of them up. So I'll probably open them soon. My only hesitation is I don't have any samples for what I do have up, which is kind of a problem. But I can open them off VGen and then just to have the samples. Ugh. What else do I have to do? I have to talk to my mom about the whole Job Corps thing. Let's see. Did my music stop? Oh, it did. I reached the end of the playlist. Okay. Oh no, hold on. Wait, close. Let's go for these ones. Oh, that's hopeful. Music for crying. Okay. more updates. Oh, well, I don't think I said anything in the last stream, did I? No, I did, and I was like, oh, nothing's set in stone. Okay, so update on Loopy for anyone interested in that. Our coder has approved of the idea that I give it like at least a week so that everyone can collect all their data. I've had at least one person reach out to me and go like, oh yeah, I've collected everything. Here's a file if you want it. Which was very sweet because actually it's pretty helpful because it means I can track it. There's a slight hiccup in the whole tracking process because my sister and I realized, oh wait, we have a lot. So I'm gonna have to get back to that. I'm actually gonna probably work on it after stream. But we're starting to record all the data so then we can update the site probably at the end of the week. Or not at the end of the week, we're at the end of the week. We're on Saturday. But you know, at the end of the week that we gave the people TM. Go from there. I'm really hoping I have Loopy up soon because man, I am so excited to get to play my game again. Both as the owner who gets to like roll rewards and whatnot, but also as like a player. Which, good luck to anyone who has to roll my rolls. I know how to break my own game. There we go. You know, he'd have. I'm mostly excited to just get more adopts out for Loopy. I still have designs just sitting there in a folder like, free us! Let us be sold! We did have someone who was interested in one of the designs, which... Oh, I feel so bad for telling them they have to wait for it. It's like, man, I'd love to give you the design, but fucking... I don't want our site to break. I would cry. I'd be so distraught. I'm so anxious about... like, doing this changeover. And I know, like, logically, it's probably going to be perfectly fine. And I'm probably just, like, mentally, emotionally overreacting. Man, it is my worst nightmare. That we lose everything regarding Loopy. I would hate for that to happen. I'd curl in... If I let all of, like, the Loopy data just disappear, I would crawl into a hole and die. Because that's awful. That would suck. Who would want to do that to, like, this group that they're super in love with and super passionate about making? So, I'll get into continuing to work on that. Right now I only have, like, some player data down. I have, like, everyone's names down. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of members that are actually real and not just bots. Oh, and speaking of which, we are going to change Loopy into something that's invite only just to avoid all of the bots. But we can give out the invites pretty much at will. It's just to avoid bots trying to make accounts because deleting the accounts as fast as they come is kind of impossible. I am really looking forward to getting everything back on the road again. I know, like, it's kind of bad timing because, oh, whoa, now I'm suddenly really busy. But man, soon. I've wanted this for so long. I'm fine with taking on the busy work. Actually, recently, I've been feeling really good about being as busy as I am. It's a little anxiety-inducing because, like, I'm bad at tracking everything. But, hi, Katybug. But I am happy that there are things going on and that I feel stimulated enough mentally to be able to do them. To take care of these things. Huh? Hi, Katybug. What are we doing? Why are you pacing? Hmm? Why'd you pacing around, bee-boo? Oh, I forgot his horns, that's why. I was like, what is missing here? Cool, that one's done actually. Cool. Okay. Where's that from? What's his hair? Okay. Let's do this one. You. Hi. Cold hands? What doing? Ah, okay. Good luck. Why did my music pause? Hello? Oh, it just ended. Alright. Now, how many, like, games and shows do you think use, or, like, games, shows, movies, etc., pieces of media like that, use royalty-free music? Because as far as I've experienced, I've only ever experienced it in, like, small-scale things, like people's YouTube videos, like what I'm doing, or in, like, class projects, because, you know, copyright and all that good stuff. But, like, I keep hearing some of these songs, and I'm, like, sitting here, like, I feel like I've heard this in Assassin's Creed, or I've heard this in a movie or something. I'm sure it's a common practice, but it's... Usually I'm used to, like, movies funding their own soundtrack to be made. And again, like, there's only so many times you can recreate the same kind of song, but... Question mark. So man, I want to play Assassin's Creed so badly. I gotta continue Unity, but like my console game station is kind of overtaken by clutter. I think maybe I should clean. I spent a lot of time cleaning the apartment building, but not my own apartment. Or not my own corner of the apartment, at least. How did I do? Right, I basically made it like an extra set of wings. Okay. You know, I don't think I can actually remember the last time I really, like, actively worked on anything for F and A characters. Aside from, like, actually, the last time I know for a fact I worked on something that was intended to be finished, at least, or at least mostly finished, was, the redesigns I did for some of the characters, because I ended up rehoming a bunch of them. Let's see if I can't pull them up, actually. I know my sister has at least one of them, too. And then I ended up not rehoming Jackson and Drac, but I did start to. I did consider it. Oh, the sniffles are gonna kill me. Ugh. Oh, why? What? Oh, my phone. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's about 30 till the stream has to end, so. Yippee. Oh, and also another little fun fact about Job Corps is I'm actually going to be taking someone else with me I did talk to them about it yesterday, so it's not like I'm just dragging somebody with me or something like that. But I grew up with this one person. We're gonna call him Din because that's not their legal name and they don't really go by it, so it's safe. So I'm dragging Din with me because we've known each other since we were like, I want to say 13. I think we met in like 7th grade. And they've been dealt a pretty shitty deck of cards in life. And I think the Job Corps would be really good for them because they're kind of interested in what I want to get into, which, you know, the tech, the IT work, all that. So I figure Job Corps, which is hands-on, it would be good for both of us, and they can accommodate for Din's injury, disability. Because Din is Din needs to have a sedentary job, so I'm gonna be taking Din with me. Hopefully we'll get dormed together. That'd be nice. And I'm thinking of going this fall because it would do me really well. So I think the plan is get a job for now, just like a tedious menial job like the gas station or something, and just save up. Try to get a car. My buddy might be selling his, so I might as well save for that. And blah blah blah. What else? Thinking. Trying to think. Right, tech. I need a new tablet really badly. So I want upgraded tech. I'd like to have a car because, like, my sister she's happy to drive me there. I did ask her, I think last night. She was like, yeah, sure. Oh wait, I did the eyes wrong. Crap. Whoops. Autopilot. That's what I get for it. Yeah, so Job Corps, get my certs, come back, probably work at the ranch or the farm if I can't, get a job. I would love to work at the farm too, because the thing is, like, as long as I contribute, the rent would be pretty cheap. I think it's like 600 is what she told me she would charge me for rent, which is not bad for what is essentially a 3-bedroom fucking apartment. Where I get to have space for me and my dog, and I get to go out and hang out with animals at any point. Man, I don't have depression. I just live in a shitty situation. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, wait, hold on. It's this here, yeah. You know what just occurred to me? I could just take snippets from these streams and I could clip them so I can post like speed. Oh, big brain. I can take streams clips and I can post them to social media so I can play this stupid algorithm game. Woo! I still need to get like a better video editor though. Ugh. Because, yeah, I'm not going to be able to manage running DaVinci Resolve anymore. That's just... It's atrocious. I love that it's free. I do. I hate how CPU intensive it is. I'm running on like a 5-year-old laptop. How old is this? It is like 5. Yeah, I'm running on like a 5-year-old laptop. I need I need things to stop demanding lots of CPU from me. I did just get my RAM changed out recently though, which made a lot of things a lot better because now they weren't relying on my CPU to run. Like Minecraft. What? I don't like... Oh, God. Okay, I know what I don't like about his face, but I don't think I can fix that now. Hmm. You know what? Getting a little lazier with how I draw these details because I'm not happy with them. Oh god, okay. I might end stream just a bit early because I didn't have time to take my neighbor's dog out earlier, and he probably needs to go outside before it gets too much colder. It's a tiny little rat dog, so... Well, I mean, okay. Yeah, I'll give it like 9-10 more minutes, and then, yeah. Just a tiny bit earlier than usual. Also, I do want to get on loopy work now that I brought my own attention to it. And on top of that, I do need to catch some rats for my snake. Because they're getting too big, and if they get too much bigger, we won't have anything we can do with them, so. Might as well feed them to her. Oh, I think we have company as well. Why can I suddenly not spell? I did it so good for like 2 seconds. Here. And I'm actually going to leave the stream here. Thank you so much to everyone who joined during, who joined after, and only watched it after I finished streaming. Thank you to Hayes for sticking around for like this entire thing. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. Bye.